Non-competes are where someone contractually agrees not to compete in the same business as someone else. Typically, employers have their employees sign such agreements so that when they leave employment, they don't compete against. But it's also used in businesses when they're sold. When someone sells their business to the buyer usually doesn't want the seller to open up the competing business right after. Non-compete agreements to stop that from happening. Now, in Louisiana, they're only enforceable if they meet certain very particular requirements. First among these requirements is that it can only be for a period of 2 years. In the employee context, it's 2 years from the end of employment. For the seller of a business, it's 2 years from the date of the sale. Also, the limitation has to be limited to for explicitly spelled out parish or parishes, cities or parts thereof, which means you got to spell out very particularly the locations where they're limited from competing. And the company that's getting the benefit of the non-compete has to actually be doing business in those particular parishes. You can't stop them from doing business in Shreveport when you don't do business in Shreveport. So if a non-compete has all these provisions and it's otherwise legally valid, it will be enforced by a court, which is called an injunction. An injunction is an order saying stop competing with so-and-so or stop otherwise violating this agreement. And if someone continues to violate it after the court has ordered them not to do that, they can be put in jail. So if you have a non-compete agreement, either you're the person who agreed not to compete or you're the person that's requiring the other person to not compete, you better make sure that your agreement is up to snuff, or better be aware if it's not up to snuff. If you're the employee or the seller of a business and you want to know whether this thing's effective, because it's going to help you make decisions as to what you're going to do with your life, you need to know whether it's good or not. If you're the employer or the person that bought a business, you need to know what your rights are, because particularly if you're an employer, you can have the person sign a new agreement. Make sure it is complicit with it if you find out that the one you currently have is not up to snuff. Here at Venezia Associates, we've represented both people trying to seek to enforce non-compete agreements and people seeking to enforce non-compete agreements. We have experience on both sides of this issue, but that experience can help anybody if you're having to deal with a non-compete agreement.